Since the dawn of humanity, we've looked to the stars with wonder and curiosity. But as we stand on the brink of becoming an interplanetary species, a pressing question emerges. Who owns the moon, Mars, and beyond? And what are the moral and religious implications of claiming celestial bodies as our own? Today, we'll explore the ethical dilemmas, historical precedents, and spiritual questions surrounding space colonization. By the end of this journey, you'll see that the cosmos isn't just a frontier for exploration. It's a mirror reflecting our values, our ambitions, and our responsibilities as a species. Space colonization is no longer science fiction. Governments, private companies, and even individuals are racing to establish a presence on the moon and Mars. NASA's Artemis program aims to return humans to the moon by 2025, while SpaceX dreams of building a self-sustaining city on Mars. But this raises a critical ethical dilemma. Can anyone truly own a piece of the cosmos? The 1967 Outer Space Treaty, signed by over 100 nations, declares that space is the province of all mankind and forbids any country from claiming sovereignty over celestial bodies. However, treaties can be challenged, and as technology advances, the lines blur. What happens when a private company lands on the moon and starts mining its resources? Or when a nation plants its flag on Mars and declares it theirs? The treaty also doesn't explicitly prevent private ownership, which has led to companies like Lunar Outpost and Planetary Resources staking claims to extraterrestrial resources. This raises questions about fairness, equity, and the potential for a new kind of space colonialism. From a moral standpoint, space colonization forces us to confront our responsibilities as a species. If we exploit the moon or Mars, are we repeating the mistakes of colonialism on Earth? History is riddled with examples of powerful nations claiming lands that belong to others, often leading to exploitation and conflict. The colonization of the Americas, Africa, and Asia was justified by the doctrine of discovery, which allowed European powers to claim lands they discovered. This led to the displacement and suffering of indigenous peoples, the exploitation of natural resources, and centuries of inequality. But space is different, or is it? There are no indigenous populations on the moon or Mars, but that doesn't mean we're free to do as we please. The resources we extract could benefit humanity as a whole, but they could also deepen existing inequalities. Who decides how these resources are used? And how do we ensure that space remains a shared heritage, not a prize for the wealthy and powerful? Some argue that space colonization could be a unifying force, bringing nations together to achieve a common goal. Others fear it could exacerbate geopolitical tensions, leading to a new space race, or even space wars. Religion adds another layer to this debate. Many faiths view the cosmos as a divine creation, imbued with sacred meaning. In Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, the heavens are often seen as the realm of God, a place beyond human ownership. For example, Psalm 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands." Similarly, the Quran describes the universe as a sign of Allah's power and wisdom. Indigenous traditions, too, speak of the stars and planets as spiritual entities, not commodities to be exploited. For some, the idea of colonizing space might feel like an act of hubris, an attempt to conquer what was never meant to be conquered. In Greek mythology, Icarus flew too close to the sun, ignoring the limits set by the gods. Are we risking a similar fate by reaching for the stars? On the other hand, many religious traditions also emphasize stewardship and exploration. In Genesis, God commands humanity to fill the earth and subdue it, which some interpret as a call to explore and care for creation. Could space colonization be seen as fulfilling this divine mandate? The tension between these perspectives highlights the complexity of the issue. How do we reconcile the desire to explore with the need to respect the sacredness of the cosmos? Science and spirituality have often been seen as opposing forces, but they don't have to be. In fact, they can complement each other, offering different ways of understanding our place in the universe. Science gives us the tools to explore space, from rockets and rovers to telescopes and satellites. It helps us understand the physical laws that govern the cosmos and the potential benefits of space colonization, such as new resources, technologies, and knowledge. Spirituality, on the other hand, reminds us of the deeper questions. Why are we here? What is our purpose? And how should we treat the world and the universe around us? By integrating these perspectives, we can approach space colonization with both curiosity and humility. We can strive to explore the cosmos while respecting its mystery and sacredness. Perhaps the answer lies in collaboration. Instead of competing for ownership, we could work together to create a shared future in space. Imagine international colonies on Mars, where scientists, engineers, and thinkers from every corner of the globe come together to explore, learn, and grow. This vision aligns with both ethical principles and spiritual values. It reminds us that we are all part of something greater, a tiny speck in the vastness of the universe, bound by our shared humanity and our shared curiosity. Organizations like the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs are already working to promote peaceful cooperation in space. But we need more than treaties and agreements. We need a shift in mindset. We need to see space not as a territory to be conquered, but as a frontier to be shared. One of the most contentious issues in space colonization is resource extraction. The moon and asteroids are rich in valuable materials like helium-3, rare earth metals, and water ice. These resources could revolutionize industries on Earth and support life in space. But who has the right to extract and profit from these resources? If a company mines the moon, do they own what they extract? And how do we ensure that the benefits are shared equitably? Some propose a space commons model, where resources are managed collectively for the benefit of all humanity. Others argue for a free market approach, where private companies take the risks and reap the rewards. This debate touches on fundamental questions about fairness, justice, and the role of government in regulating new frontiers. It also raises practical concerns, such as environmental impact and sustainability. After all, if we've learned anything from Earth, it's that unchecked exploitation can have devastating consequences. As we venture into space, we must also consider our spiritual responsibility. Many traditions teach that we are stewards of creation, tasked with caring for the world and all its inhabitants. If we extend this idea to the cosmos, what does it mean to be stewards of the moon, Mars, and beyond? How do we balance our desire to explore with our duty to protect? Some spiritual leaders have already begun to address these questions. The Dalai Lama, for example, has spoken about the importance of compassion and mindfulness in all human endeavors, including space exploration. Pope Francis has emphasized the need to care for our common home, a concept that could easily extend to other planets. These voices remind us that space colonization isn't just a technical challenge, it's a moral and spiritual one. It requires us to think deeply about who we are, what we value, and how we want to shape the future. As we prepare to take our first steps onto other worlds, we must ask ourselves, what kind of explorers do we want to be? Will we repeat the mistakes of the past, or will we forge a new path, one guided by ethics, respect, and a sense of wonder? The moon and Mars are not just destinations, they are mirrors, reflecting our values, our dreams, and our responsibilities. Let's ensure that as we reach for the stars, we do so with humility, wisdom, and a commitment to the common good. The cosmos is vast, but our potential is even greater. Together, we can explore the universe in a way that honors both science and spirit and creates a future we can all be proud of.